we're just gonna discuss with Chuck a little bit. Of course, anybody that's familiar with Chuck knows about. He's wrote several books, six, I believe. I think we do have Lauren on the air with us now too.
Yep.
Yeah, she is. She is there. She is there in full effect. So, while Chuck's getting everything set up on the YouTube side of things, I just want to go ahead and let everybody know some of the upcoming guests we have. This coming Friday, we do have Antonio Zamudo from API Paranormal that will be joining us live. It'll be our first interpreted episode, so it should be pretty exciting to say the least. I'm pretty stoked about it. How about you, Justin?
Oh yeah, you know I'm ready for all the guests that we got coming on, which we got a bunch joining us. So all these upcoming episodes should be fantastic.
Yeah, and then next Saturday we won't actually be live on Spreaker, but we will be live on the Beyond the Light Network Facebook page for everybody to check out. We'll be broadcasting live from a very haunted and active location located in Little Rock, Arkansas. It is known as the USS Razorback. We'll be staying the night in the Razorback that night, actually. We will be there. We will check in at approximately 6 p.m. Central Time, and we will leave that incredible location. I'm kind of confused on the checkout time or the time we'll be leaving, but I know for sure it'll either be 8:30 or 9:30 a.m. Central Standard Time, because there's two different times. I know Lauren's really excited and geared up about staying the night.
Hell no.
Yeah.
Yeah, Lauren.
I'm going to sleep in my car.
Lauren's she's going to sleep in her car.
I won't be sleeping.
And Sherika says she won't be sleeping. They're the two scaredy cats of the Darknite crew.
Sherika has more balls than I do.
She said she'll stay in there, but she won't be sleeping.
You better sleep in the same bunk as me, because I ain't sleeping by myself.
I think we'll exit the submarine at one point and let Sherika and Lauren have it to themselves in the middle of the night when they're sleeping. We'll sneak out.
Look, I didn't say I ain't sleeping. I'll stay in there if somebody else is in there with me, but I ain't sleeping.
Me either, probably. I'll probably be up all damn night.
Mm-hmm.
Just share a couple of drinks with card games.
Just so you know, guys, you're going to want to also share. You are also simulcasting on your YouTube channel at this point. So.
Oh yes, definitely. We are actually broadcasting live on our Darknite Paranormal Society YouTube channel for the first time.
Are we?
Well, it's our second live feed on the YouTube channel, but this is our very first time simultaneously podcasting on the Darknite YouTube channel, as well as Spreaker Beyond the Light Network under Darknite Radio. So definitely you can actually see us live on video through our YouTube channel. Now I don't know what happened to Chuck. His video was on there, but we can't see him anymore. You hiding out on us, Chuck?
My video's gone. Really?
Yeah, your video's gone.
You're gone.
Is your video showing on YouTube?
No, just you guys. Let me do some work here, and I'll get it fixed. But so I'll be at your service here in just a second or whatever. So now your YouTube people can see me, so they're just gonna have to wait a second.
All right. Yeah. So I definitely, everybody, if you want to see our beautiful faces here at the Darknite and Chuck's beautiful face, you could go over to our YouTube channel.
Nobody picked their noses. You're on camera.
Oh, Chuck's back, everybody.
I can.
Give me a minute. Still working.
The only one you can't see that's on the air with us right now would be Lauren.
Yep.
All right, so if you get a chance, check your YouTube page out. We should be good to go there, and just make sure that there's no bugs out there. I do not have access to your chat on via YouTube, so that's going to be your baby.
All right, Destin. Yeah. Hold on.
Oh, you want me to watch 3 different chats?
Dude.
Well, of course, that's the way it is.
It's on YouTube. It's so laggy.
Let me see.
YouTube is always slower than Spreaker, but it's all good.
Yeah.
The people that's
Y'all look
watching.
like robots.
We are robotic.
That's all right. That's all right. As long as the sound's good on that end, we're in good shape. So anyway, I am at your beck and call now. So we should be good to go.
That's awesome, and we definitely want to thank Mr. Chuck for joining us tonight. He's been pretty busy as of late with basketball games and whatnot, but it's definitely a pleasure to have him on the air, and he's the one that got the YouTube going for us and everything.
Yeah,
Thank you for that, Chuck.
Yeah. It's the pleasure's all mine, and we should be able to, to be able to set that up, no problem. And chances are, we're also gonna not only do this week's show for myself tomorrow with Benji being out sick. We probably won't do the Facebook Live thing. It'll probably be on YouTube and Spreaker as well. But I am extremely tired. We thought we were going to stay the rest of the evening, down in St. Louis. But I'm here now. We made the trek. So if I look tired of my eyes, I definitely am.
Oh, it's all good, buddy. It's all good. Definitely want to thank you, even though you are tired, for joining us this lovely Saturday evening. So I guess we'll start off. I know you're usually the interviewee too. You're the interviewer as well, Chuck. We'll start off, which everybody that's on the Beyond the Light Network pretty much is kind of familiar with Chuck's books and whatnot. If you want to, go ahead and just kind of briefly tell them a little bit about some of the books that you have out there for them to check out.
Okay. Okay. So, all right. I do have a 6th book out there. I do not have any copies of that, but right now I am running a special on the paranormal or the Midwest Paranormal Road Trip. It talks about basically 13 different locations around Iowa and Missouri. Most of them, in a fairly closer radius in my area, but I am going to do a part 2 talking about other locations that I've been on, as far as or been around in the United States. Look for volume 2 a little bit later on. That's been a hot seller lately. I only have one more set of this. Okay, this is my Paranormal Experiences: Death to Final Frontier. Experiences Experience from Beyond Death to Final Frontier Part 2. And I gave you the wrong damn one. And Out of the Darkness and Into the Light, Death to Final Frontier 3. I do have 3 of these babies left if anybody wants them. And I'll sell them for $35, all signed and mailed to you. This book here is $10 a piece plus $2.61 shipping and handling, and I have several. I also have the book Around the Dinner Table: Religion and Politics, the Butthurt Saga. Okay, if you want a little butthurt in your life, be sure you check that out. But no, I've written a lot of books. I'm working on my PhD. I have 2 master's degrees. I am a teacher. I am a coach. I am just a busy man.
Yeah, Chuck does definitely spend a lot of time on the road, everyone. He's always going. We're going to have to get him down here to Arkansas, though. I think we all have a simultaneous problem going on in Oklahoma, which the good news is we haven't heard nothing from her in a while, but that could be bad as well. We hope it's not bad, but
fingers crossed.
But she hasn't contacted us, so hopefully. With Chuck's help, he was there with us both times, so it seems. whenever we were investigating there. I think me and him have determined we have some sort of connection going on somehow or another. So it seems like everywhere I go, he's there. Just like when we went to the Clayton house, you was there with us as well, Chuck. I had a pretty interesting experience at the Clayton house. It was pretty crazy. I felt like I was challenged, and at one point in time, I feel like I was challenged. It looks like you got a buddy back there in the background, Chuck.
I'm sure I do. And just for your for the listeners, and many of them know me, Kim Addie Purvis, sending out a lot of love, light, and healing and blessings to you, and as well as to everybody on the Darknite radio broadcast tonight, and as well as Beyond the Light Radio Network. And if you're watching, when I have the light on, okay, this is when we get angelic visitors. This is when I do a lot of my light work. And again, we can get into that a little bit later on. But when I shut the light off, that is when you see the darker, the darker aspect. And if you notice behind me, I am not doing this. That's not going to cause anything, to mess that light up. But when I talk about Archangel Michael, Archangel Gabriel, Archangel Ariel, Archangel Metatron, that is when you're going to see that you're going to see that light pick up. There. Thank you. I appreciate that. And that's when I know that things are real. As far as how I work, I don't know how the hell I work. I just know that I have gifts, and I know that I have things that I stick with, and I know that I blow people's minds occasionally. And thank you for going on and off there.
Me included. He did blow my mind, everybody. There was solid confirmation, and it's really crazy how bright that light is. Like right now, you can't even see nothing in that room. Yeah, and there's no possible way for him to be doing it. His hands are down. Yeah. There's nothing. It's crazy.
And let me take you on a ride, folks. I am. Oh shit! I just hit that. Okay. I don't have any special. Okay, there's a freaking mess in here, but I don't have any special lights up there, any strobes, anything like that. So there you go.
Yeah, and that just signifies. He done a blessing prayer for us on previous investigations as well, especially that Cookson, Oklahoma one that we recently done, and. It's pretty phenomenal, some of the work Chuck does. He's a pretty awesome individual, even though he says he's just a normal guy, which me, I don't consider myself psychic. Of course, Jen B says that I have some of the abilities as well, but I don't take credit for it. I never have. I am able to hear them. I can tell you that without a shadow of a doubt. Justin also has some of the abilities that he doesn't take credit for. But yeah, it's definitely a great thing to have. Well, I say it's a great thing. Sometimes it's not so great, and I know Chuck will agree. Sometimes it's not so great to have some of the abilities some individuals out there have. It does get a bit scary at times, especially when you can see them or anything along those lines.
For sure. It's one of those things where, that how I work and how I roll, I do a lot of healing, clearings, cleansings, and whether I be, with the particular people in person or whether I do it from my own home, which I can do. It's really quite remarkable process, but again, I consider myself just a normal everyday Joe. I believe in Jesus Christ and the power of prayer. Okay, and if that turns you away at all, it shouldn't, because I'm always open to different interpretations, different philosophies, different belief systems. And if you read my stuff, you're going to know that as well. Hold
on, guys. Sorry about that. Go ahead.
I think the YouTube video that I just shared, I think he didn't mute it. Is what I think.
You think so?
I don't know, man.
So we're all aware of Mr. Matthew Bennett's story of how he got started. How long have you had abilities or noticed that you had the abilities you do, Chuck?
Well, in reality, I would say that I probably had them all my life. However, in incoherent or in coherent, knowing, I would say that I started going through a change when I opened back up after my father passed away, April 30th, 2010. And a lot of the people, they've heard that story or whatever, but I did become more open, in some ways good, some ways bad. I suffered from a pretty serious spiritual attachment that not only attached to myself, but it attached to my entire family. So I kind of learned things the hard way. But I would say, as far as understanding, the physical medium gifts, as far as, understanding, what's going on and sharing that information with people that I should not have any possibility of a clue of even understand. You know what I'm saying? Not knowing that sort of thing. I would say probably November 2014 is when I realized, oh shit, I have abilities.
I got it.
Yeah, but you know what? I would still consider myself kind of a closet medium. That's my nickname. I do know that a lot of people out there know, about what I can do and what I do to help people. But I keep things relatively on the down low when it comes to that, unless we talk and do those sorts of things. So.
Oh yeah, definitely. Lauren, I know I can vouch. I've seen your work, Chuck. Lauren, tell everybody out there listening what you think about Chuck's work.
He's on.
Just explain to him. Just explain to him, babe, a little bit about what he done for you. What he done that night when you and Krista were in there. It was pretty.
Well, Krista was trying to. I guess he was channeling Krista, and because Krista wanted proof that it was real. You know how Krista is.
Yeah.
So you gotta have but that's anybody. They have to know to believe something. So he was channeling, I guess, her dad, and I guess my dad came in a little bit also. So it was pretty cool. So it was kind of emotional for both me and Krista because we're going through the same thing so close together. So it was pretty neat that we got to share that together. And
Justin, are you having lung issues or as far as pain in your back? As far as kind of a heavy feeling up here.
I did about 2 weeks ago.
Okay. Was your sternum out?
No, I had bronchitis.
Okay, well that could be as well. Do you smoke?
Nope.
Okay. Are you around people that smoke?
Yeah.
Those people need to quit smoking around you because that's what's causing your respiratory issues.
That'd be my best friend sitting next to me.
Okay. Yeah.
This is a vape, but no. Unfortunately, this is a bad habit.
Do you see how bright that got there, Dwayne?
Yeah, I see. They're telling me.
He does need to quit smoking.
Yeah.
I can vouch for that.
Lauren don't smoke either. Sarah does. I do. And Krista
too.
does.
Yeah, I'm around it all the time.
Me and Justin, the only non-smokers out of everybody.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's kind of how it works sometimes.
Strength. I need some strength to help me quit, Chuck.
He does.
Well, I don't know whether I can help you. I think that's your baby, but because I do chew, and a lot of times when people listen to my show, they say, "Why does Chuck always dip his head over there?" So you can't see that stuff. Anyway.
Yeah.
Shay.
Yeah.
I just wanted to tell Shay hi.
To everybody in the chat, you can see us live on YouTube as well. We're simultaneously broadcasting for the first time here on Darknite Radio this evening. Thanks to Mr. Chuck. So what is in your field of work, since you've realized you've had this gift, Chuck, this incredible gift that you have? What is the scariest moment that you would say you've had so far with this?
Okay, this actually took place almost a year ago. It was like the first weekend in April, and I was there. I was dealing with a case with a 13, 14-year-old little girl, and she was being seriously oppressed, close to possession. Lots of those issues, and I'd been working with her and her mother for several months. But they ended up meeting me at a particular place, and basically what I did is, and I would not recommend it for anybody because it was crazy. But the feeling that I got was that doing an exorcism or doing anything as far as detaching this particular spirit from this person, I really felt that it would cause a lot of harm, that it could even potentially kill her. So I have an ability of yanking out spiritual attachments and basically keeping them in my body, which is not healthy. And I'm sure that Archangel Michael can attest behind me. Yes, thank you. That it's not the proper way to do it, and I've worked on that. But upon doing so, my demeanor changed, my physicality, my as far as me, being on this plane of existence, I actually got a peek into the beyond, and that was damn scary. If I wouldn't have had a great friend of mine there with me, Jared Osborne, I don't know what would have taken place.
Yeah, I've met Jarrett. I got the opportunity to meet Jarrett when we come up to Iowa, me and Lauren both. Justin and then we'll get to meet him when we return next month in April to do Edinburgh. I'm sure we'll see Jarrett at some point. Yeah, but Jarrett's a pretty awesome individual, and he does have some gifts as well, most definitely. And Jarrett practices both sides, I believe, doesn't he? I think he practices a little dark and a little light.
He calls me the White Witch. I don't consider myself a witch, a magician, or anything like that. I just consider myself a man with strong faith in the Creator. Now, many people might call me what some people would refer to as a chaos agent, as a chaos magician. I won't call it that because I'm not sure, but I will say that I can do some remarkable things, whether it be through, my Christian faith, and I hold Jesus Christ obviously above all others because that's my faith. But I am able to work with other ascended masters and angels and things like that.
Yeah, that's always a good thing when you're able. And I mean, in this line of work, it's always important because you can bring a priest in or whatnot, but especially in the very dark cases, you need the good and the bad. You need somebody that's able to work with both sides of the spectrum and that does it well, because sometimes you have to fight the bad with the bad to get rid of it. And I've noticed that, and a lot of times, I mean, there's some awesome, amazing Christian priests, so to speak, out there. But sometimes in certain cases, you'll need like your Wiccan priest, your voodoo priest, like that. Somebody that's real talented on both sides of the spectrum to help cleanse and get rid of it. Of course, there's some of us out there that, like Chuck, he believes in God and he's more on the Christian side of things, but he knows how to deal with both sides of the spectrum. But there's a lot that don't out there. I don't know how Chuck feels about that, but
the story goes all the way back. when a couple of let's see, it might have been about 18 months, maybe almost 2 years. This actual Spreaker thing that's become Beyond the Light Radio Network, and that's growing daily. With a ton of great shows and hosts, and I couldn't be more proud. To have you all and everyone to be a part of it and associated with it. But it started out. This was the Butthurt channel. This was a political affiliate. Then it became Point of Ascension. My friend Paul Wyrestek and myself, we decided to do some Point of Ascension. Paul and I kind of had an out, whatever the stretch of the imagination. I will say that, I send out love. I pray for Paul, but the thing is his belief system, my old belief system did not jive properly. And what I did is I brought Christ back. And when I brought Christ back, I understood it a little better, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
I was able to grasp things just a little bit more thoroughly. And I do understand, though, that there's a ton of things that we couldn't even remotely possibility, of having a possibility of understanding when it comes to that, because the Bible was written by man. But yeah. Again, I do believe that through the Word of God, we were able to write these things down. But interpretation, man, I could write, I love blah, blah, blah. And you know what? You could think in your rationality, okay, Chuck thinks this, but in reality, I was thinking something entirely different. So I think we can look at that in that manner. And you know what? I pray, I meditate. And you know what it says in the Bible? Okay, don't do these things. Don't use divination. Don't do that. Don't be a homosexual, whatever. Now, yeah. I believe that with intent. Now, I wrote all these books. Okay.
Yeah.
Some of the information probably came from God, but again, I wrote it. So in reality, if I was against things, if I was for things, in reality, then I'm going to have a lot of me in this sucker. Okay, so we have to get past that. We need to show love. And you know what? A lot of the scripture, man, that Jesus says, Jesus doesn't say you cannot be a homosexual. Jesus does not say you cannot use divination tools. He does not say that. He wants everyone to be saved through the Lamb of God and all that and the Trinity. And it's so it can make sense. It's so we can all be open to the possibility in the realm of what is. That's what he did. He said, you know what? Challenge the old course and ways of things. And if people are assholes in synagogues, then you need to call them out on it.
Yep. Yep. And that's really what it amounts to. Something funny that I've been thinking about while you've been sitting here talking about that. Me and you had a conversation earlier today, Chuck, about how you pray, and then it's like the darkness contacts you.
Okay. Now, I'm going to have a guest on in a few weeks, and I'm not even going to say his name, but he is he is the leading component today in chaos magic. Okay. Now, I was praying. Okay, and lo and behold, my freaking phone, it buzzed the exact same time that I got done, and I said amen, and it was that gentleman. Okay, now I'm not saying that he's a bad dude and that he's all hocus pocus and darkness. I'm just saying that something happened. Now, true story. Last night, we're getting ready to go. As football coaches, it was great. We're gonna go down to Hooters. And we're gonna eat free wings and all the free beer we can drink. We walk up to that, okay? And I hear the song "Highway to Hell" playing. Guess who didn't drink? Guess who didn't go get free wings? This guy. Okay, I wasn't gonna do that. This stuff happens to me all the time.
It was just so funny when he told me that earlier. We're just having a conversation. He said as soon as they pull up. And Chuck don't really drink. Chuck does not drink. To everybody,
but I was going to drink. I was going to partake.
He was going to partake for once, and the moment he goes to partake, you have Highway to Hell
Yeah.
by AC/DC playing on the radio. And that was crazy because that was God's message telling him,
Don't do
you
it.
better not do this
Yeah,
shit.
right?
You're going to get in trouble, basically.
And you know what? He, she, I don't care. Thank you. Thank you for giving me that warning because, that's just the way it is.
Yeah, it was just awesome in a way and kind of scary and the same way. Justin, I think last night, was it Stephen or Rick that was talking about the red light incident? I can't remember. It was either Stephen or Rick, our guest last night here on Darknite Radio. Our guest last night was actually, he said the light had turned green and a car flew through the intersection at 80 miles an hour and ran the red light. Well, it just so happened at that very moment, a voice came over the radio basically telling him not to go and to wait. And so he actually went to the radio station. He called the radio station, was like, hey, did y'all have a broadcast at this time saying that? And they're all, no, we never broadcasted that. And Chuck had brought that up earlier, too, that he's had that sort of thing happen several times on occasion. And I thought that was pretty badass.
Yeah, when he was telling the story, I was like, that's a warning sign, dude. That's a warning sign.
That's telling everybody out there that this shit is real. And it's not just the God part of it. There's a lot of, and don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to offend any Christians out there or anything like that, but there's a lot of Christians out there that are all like, ghosts aren't real. Those are all demons. That's not true. Yeah. We as investigators know that there's good and light in that aspect. There are good and dark. I mean, bad and dark and light, however you refer to it, however the listeners out there refer to it. And it's interesting. It's interesting to deal with both sides. And how are you going to believe in God but not believe in the darkness?
Yeah, you got to have
every aspect.
One and not have the other.
Yeah,
now
every aspect.
Now I have to interject. Now there is a growing philosophy that we have dark and we have light, we have heaven, we have hell, whatever. Okay, but there's also that facet. Okay, when we look at other forms of spirituality, whatever, that they think that you can't have one without the other, and we say the same thing, but they don't call it demonic or hell. They don't call it heaven or you know what I mean, the angelic side of things. Okay, but it's still the philosophy is still there. As far as understanding those things, I truly believe, okay, that we all got in this business for one reason and one reason alone, to try to prove beyond a shadow of a doubt that our existence continues past the earthen realm. Now, and that's why I got into it, it's one of those things. Now, okay, so that's great. If I can get people to understand that there is a realm past what we have on this earthly state, and that what we do on earth matters, and I can get people closer to God, no matter what that light is, what that power is, then more power to it. If it makes them a better spiritual person.
Yeah, definitely, and I agree with you 100%. And there's different ways to go about it. There's different approaches to every aspect of it. Every religion has its own beliefs. But one thing every religion can agree on is the fact that there is a higher power out there. Every religion out there, even Satanism and whatnot, there is a higher power out there. There is somebody that everybody answers to that's higher. And there's also a bad version of it in every religion. There's a darker power. Either way, it don't matter. And like you said, it just depends on how you go about teaching it to people. And I like your explanation on that, Chuck. It's in all aspects of it. That's the way you gotta be. You can't just force force something on somebody, you got to make them understand every aspect of it.
You gotta make them see all the points around it.
Now, if I can also lead people to, you know, I'll just say it, you know, Christ.
Yeah.
In a way that you're open, in a way that you're not totally dogmatic, and that's something that I'm working on. You know, is try not to be, you know, to have a one size fits all approach and be dogmatic. And by the way, there's violet light shooting into my head right now.
Yeah, I
see it.
That's crazy.
Okay,
I
do not have a violet light up there. So.
That we're talking about the good. Now a crazy thing is, and Chuck always makes jokes about this, inviting me and Justin down to his basement for cookies. Why don't you tell everybody about your basement, Chuck?
Okay. Now I'm gonna shut the light off. Okay. Now, just understand this. Just imagine this. Okay, my basement. Okay, and there'll probably be a lot of people that'll watch this later, and they'll think, you know, Chuck or Charles, and make sure you only put Charles Anthony, because I don't want my football players seeing this later. But
yeah,
you know, it's one of those things where I believe, okay, and I believe that people should question everything. I think that's important. But I believe that, you know, I have what you would consider a couple portals. You know, what not this portal follows me, and share this for Jen so she can see it. All right. As you know, I believe that I have a couple portals. One good, one. Okay, we want to say one darker and one lighter. Okay, we'll use that. And basically, this is my workroom. This is where I work on my PhD. This is where I read all my books, whether it be on spirituality or be on, you know, investigating, all that sort of stuff. It's also where I do my channeling. You know, I do a lot of praying here too. You know, I read a lot of scripture here, and this is where it happens. Now, this doesn't go to say that this can't happen when I'm at different places, because it does. Okay, and it's strange. It's a strange reality. Wherever I've lived, Dwayne, whether it be in Centerville, whether it be in Fort Madison, whether it be here, is I've always had what we would call a doorway to the spiritual world, and I do. I'm going to go open the portal rooms right now. Oops.
Hit it again.
Ding.
Yeah, this is pretty interesting, everybody. Chuck has showed me this before. He showed me where the darkness. I've actually seen this figure standing in that doorway right behind where Chuck's sitting, everyone. I've seen the dark figure standing there in the darkness. It was pretty interesting.
Now, one thing to keep in mind is when it's dark, it just got a whole lot colder in here. Okay, I do have a little space here going, you know, to keep it warm for me, but it got a whole lot colder in here. And you know what? Right now, I'm gonna obviously, you know, for the people that are listening and all that sort of stuff, I do want to throw this out there. I am sending protection out there to everybody. Okay, you won't be harmed. Nothing's going to come through the screen. Nothing's going to come through the audio headphones tonight, and snatch you. I'm just merely sharing, you know, what can take place, you know, in these rooms. And if you start feeling squeezy, understand that you have the ability alone within your heart, within your spirit, within your soul, to banish all darkness. That's just the way it is. Take things to the drier places, period.
Yeah.
And that's important to denote. But I do have it open. If you see anything behind me, you know, tag it, mark it, do whatever you got to do.
Oh yeah, definitely. And I've actually seen the darker entity, and Chuck actually took me down to the basement in the darkness, and it was crazy because I could feel the energy, even though I wasn't physically there. This being, this dark entity, this thing, whatever you want to call it, was actually, I could actually feel it, and it was crazy. Even though I wasn't there, it was coming over the phone basically as we were talking.
And you know,
and it looks like
way back when, guys, you know, 2013, when we took ownership of the house, you know, strange things happened. You know, things would be thrown off, you know, knocks, things like that. And if I can find, you know, a couple of EVPs, maybe I'll play them here in a little bit. But the craziness tends to happen down here. But I've also had, you know, some experiences upstairs. I've had a lot of experiences just outside my door, you know, my swinging French door, and also up in the bedroom. So, but you know, down here is basically an area that you know, the darker spirits that come in, and you know, whether or not I'm going to get a case to deal with or whatever. This is my information room. So
yeah, it looks like. Are they trying to channel you up?
If my eyes start turning blue or changing a different shade of green, that means yes. Or you know what I mean. If it shifts, I don't know whether my eyes are changing or not. They're red because I'm tired, but they could. You know, it's one of those things. Man, my phone's like dinging and stuff. I don't know what it is. Jen sent me a ding message, so I'm gonna have to look here. You talk for a minute.
All right. Yeah. So crazy things happen. Everyone, we're all aware of that. We all know that crazy things do indeed happen to each and every one of us every day. Things we can't explain, even non-believers in the paranormal. Justin was there at one point when we started. Justin was a skeptic. We went to that infamous old Arkansas hospital that we talk about so often because it's just an incredible location. Justin was a non-believer in the paranormal until we went to that location. A 45-minute car ride home, he didn't say one word. So
I'm guilty of that. Not now, though. Not now.
So
next day after, I was 100.
Go ahead, Justin.
No. Yeah, I'm good.
So, Lauren, do you have any questions for Mr. Chuck?
No.
Do you got?
I sensed a little bit. I don't want the creepy crap to come through. I don't know. Anyway, I am gonna play something for you folks, and also on all facets. This isn't the I died one yet because I haven't found it, but this one was quite interesting. So if you get a chance, put on your headphones and listen in. Whoops, sorry. All right, does your name begin with an A? Can you give me the first two letters of your name?
Wow.
Is that you making me feel cold? Jesus Christ is protecting me. You know that, right? Okay. Now, I played that on other shows, but I'm going to let folks, come to their own conclusions on that one. Justin,
Yeah.
I see it in your face, man.
Yeah, that was yeah. I was hearing it. I couldn't make out really what it was saying, but I was catching it on points. I could hear it. throughout there. I just couldn't make out what it was saying. Yeah.
Well, here's something that's remarkably interesting, and you know what, God's going to allow me to say this. Kenny Addison called me. You know, he and I have a remarkable relationship, and he was helping me, you know, through some of the darkest times. And he said that I had somebody called Ezekiel that was affecting, you know, my house and that sort of stuff. And if I go back, when I ask it, you know, to give us its letters of its name, I think you hear AZ, and we'll go there here real quick.
Stop. Live.
Whoops, I apologize. Here it comes. I'll try not to leave the dead air here. But I think I say, give me your first
Can you
letter.
give me the first 2 letters of your name?
Now, and what I hear is I hear A-Z. And then shortly after that I hear I will take him. Now, at the end, when I talk about Jesus, I think it says, now, again, this is coming from me, I think it says Jesus ain't happening F off, but I'll let you decide. Here we go.
Jesus Christ is protecting me. You know that, right?
Yeah, that's what it sounds like to me too.
Yeah,
I definitely heard the F off.
Yeah.
Yeah, you sent that to me and Justin.
Yeah,
before.
I think I had it. Yeah.
Yeah, you sent that to me in the email. It's just funny.
I see
It's
little
just-
thing.
Now,
For me, when you start mentioning God and Jesus, especially in a darker home,
Oh yeah.
it always gets a rise out of them, no matter what.
and
Me
I
and
was
Justin have used God and Jesus on several occasions, and tends to piss them off a bit.
And as bad as it seems, when you do, it's not you get the responses, and it's not always the response that you want. But sometimes, like the EVPs that we catch, you get some of the best responses
Yep.
by having to go to that point.
and
You get
you know,
like that, oh shit.
and I'm not going to lie to you. That was before I really shifted, you know. And I did provoke a little bit there. And you know what? I you know, I paid for that little bit of provocation, and I don't recommend that in the least.
Yeah, it's there's a fine line, and me and Justin will be the first to admit we're guilty of provocation at times ourselves. The main reason that'll cause me to provoke or be aggressive is if the entity's aggressive and they're not, and the point isn't getting across. Whenever I'm telling them to leave somebody alone or leave their home or whatever, sometimes I feel as though you got to take a little bit of an aggressive approach to get them to understand that you mean business and they need to leave. You got to be firm and assert yourself to them at some points. But there again, when you do that, like Chuck said, you do run that danger of putting yourself in harm's way and them attacking you instead. And Justin, he's been I would say kind of oppressed a few times.
Yeah, you don't always have to provoke to be hit like that.
Yeah, sometimes they're so damn powerful. You don't even have to use provocation for them to attack you.
And a lot of times for mine, I know it's about 3 times. All mine, it just happens out of like random, bam. Like I'll be investigating 1 minute, and the next minute I'm like, whoop, where did this guy go? I'm just not myself anymore. And it happens like within just a matter of minutes.
Okay, I'm not finding the one where it says I died. So again, I apologize for Matt out there, but maybe we can get that, you know, ahead of time a little bit later.
Yeah, but there's a lot of a lot of things that happen that we as investigators can't even explain. My accident was I say it was a freak accident, but everybody by now has heard me talk about this on several occasions because that image is burned into my head of whatever took control. And the story is, I think that when we went to that Cookson residence, and I know Chuck feels the same way. Chuck, if you would, tell them about that vision you had of two people in the car that you had told me. I think you had that. It was either the night of, or I think it was a little bit before we actually went to that Cookson residence, and I had my accident.
I want to say it was the night before your accident. I was actually in a car. Couldn't exactly tell. I think I was in the back seat on the passenger side, but I could have been in the front seat on the passenger side as well. I get this dream several times of going through water. Going through like areas where you normally drive through. Like on a bridge or whatever. And I can remember Jen was actually driving the car that night, and I'm looking at her and I'm saying, go straight. And anyway, she veered to the left, and then we went underwater, and then I opened the door, and then I woke up. But, it's strange. Did you go left or right when you read?
I went to the right.
Okay. And in actuality, I was seeing things like I was, like we are now. So again, this is my right, but it looks like your left. See where I'm going with that?
Yeah.
So
yeah, and another coincidence that occurred from this Cookson location, everybody, is this is the kind of weird connection that we have with Chuck somehow or another. If you would, Chuck, explain to them, because we were at this residence the first time we went in Cookson, that very same night that we were there, Chuck had, I guess you can call it an out-of-body-like experience, and he explained it to me as though he was having a stroke.
Yes.
And it's funny because within the first, within the first minute, we caught an EVP that come through plain as day, and I sent it to Chuck. It said, Chuck.
Yeah.
Within the first minute. And it just so happened, this is where we realized there may have been somewhat of a connection between us, because at the very moment that we were there investigating that night, Chuck had felt like he was. I'll let Chuck explain what he experienced that night.
Well, it's again, I can't remember a lot of it now because it was channeled, but I was getting ready to coach a game, and and I never miss a game, and I was losing my vision, and sometimes when you have migraines, sometimes that can occur, but this felt different. I almost passed out. My daughter, finally got to me into my room. I propped my feet up, and it really felt like I was having a stroke. And on the way home, I was saying stuff, like weird stuff. Couldn't remember anything. I didn't really feel like myself. And my wife said, we need to go to the doctor. I said, oh, I'll just sleep it off, blah, blah, blah. So anyway, like a dummy, I went upstairs and I laid down, and I was gone. It was like I was totally out of my body, and I was in a different dimension. I could see the being, for what it was. And what was interesting is this case is actually dealing with the same entity that had attached and made itself home, in me. And anyway, I think I said something about a child spirit. Remember my William or my Billy spirit, okay? And what's remarkable, I don't even know whether I've shown you these, Dwayne, but these were drawn by, two of them were drawn by my daughter when she was young.
That's pretty interesting.
Okay. Now, what's interesting is at the Edinburgh Manor, I was with Nick and Sue with Short Bus Paranormal, and through the K, is it the? Oh shit! It's the new one. It's the new one. It's the number 11 version. PSB 11. It said Bill's back. Okay, which was interesting. I did get a picture in the Edinburgh Manor in one of the mirrors, and it looked just like this.
Yeah.
She also drew this, the female.
Wow. That's damn creepy right there.
That's pretty creepy.
That one is pretty creepy, definitely.
Now, I will tell you that that this entity masquerades itself. It's actually this.
Yeah, you showed me that one. That one is creepy in itself.
Now,
right there.
now again, I'm not a real great artist, but one of my former students did this. Okay, now and again, I'm not going to preach to you guys, but I did read in scripture that you have sheep, you have goats, and it says to not be goats.
Wow.
Anyway, shortly after that, they returned. After I told him no, after he was in his accident, and that night, I told him about my experience fighting evil spirits with a sword, and I think it was Justin that said he could hear metal hitting together.
Yeah, when we were
in the room
and resident.
When we were in that one room, I could hear. Yeah, you could hear metal, like metal was clinking.
That exact night, I was out of my body all night long fighting with a sword.
Yeah, and it wasn't just Justin that heard it. Me, him, and our new guy, Tim Moses, heard it as well. It was crazy. It was crazy. And that was the second time we went back.
Yeah, that was.
And you were there. And it's funny you mentioned that child earlier, Chuck. I don't know if we told you or not, but we actually believe a child was murdered either on that land, or in that house.
Yeah, when we were in that same bedroom, that's when we were getting we were running the little ghost radar, catching all this.
Now it's interesting. I think this was Kat's interpretation, saying she was chained, feeling oppressed by Mr. Bill, the child.
Got you.
Okay, now let me see if I can find a photo here that I think would be rather interesting for everyone to see. And again, I'll have to switch over and then I'll switch back. I got to make sure I don't screw up Google Hangouts. But I actually got photographic evidence, and I don't even know whether this is in the right spot. But no, it's not. But you know what? I can show on your YouTube channel here, real quickly. Let me go here. Okay, I'm back. They can only see me. One of these days, they're going to be able to run this on their own. Let's see. Let's go here. Okay. Now, I'm sure that you guys can see via YouTube. Okay, if you see there, you can see what appears to be a cat. Okay, with big eyes, but you can also see the horns behind. Okay, this is kind of the front. I did send you a picture after you went the second time, Dwayne. Remember where you could see the entity on the side parallel, so you saw the side of it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right there. Yeah.
Yeah, I see it.
Anyway, that's one. And again, if I can find the other one shows a little boy, and I'm not sure I can find it, but I will show you a real creepy one of the same entity I believe that is the same entity. There you go. Now it's really quiet, and I apologize on Spreakerland, but this is another. Okay, can you see it?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't think I've ever shown you that one.
Wait, what is that? Looks like an alien.
Is this what we're looking at?
Yeah.
Here's a picture that'll stymie you as well. This was like when I was taking pictures one time, it was like there were a ton of orbs following, and then this thing came out of the orb. You can see the orb, and you can see the thing heading in or out. You see that?
Yeah, you sent me that one.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Now I'm
The fuck?
gonna take us back on.
It's like something on the ceiling.
I'm gonna put you guys back on real quick, and then I'm gonna look for the one with the child at the end of the hallway here. So you guys talk while I search for it.
All right. Yeah. So
That was crazy.
yeah. So this is just some of the crazy things we deal with, and on a paranormal standpoint. That this whole case has been crazy. With this Cookton, Oklahoma resident, Miss Hazel Cooper.
Yeah, Hazel Cooper.
Hazel
yeah,
Cooper's.
I had no idea it was going to be like that when I took it on, because she reached out to our old page and she was like, I need help. And I was like, and I never turn anybody away, because that's, we just don't. So I took it on, and who would have known that it's like the whole case is just blowed up. That, I seen it on our YouTube, on our Gmail. Our email came through, and I was like, I didn't even know that was active. So I responded back to her, and this case is just blowed up when she tells me all the things that's happened to her. Broken hip, the entities knocked her down. Like, it's got horrible. And so, like Dwayne had mentioned earlier, she hasn't like responded back or talked to me ever since the second time we went out. So I don't know if it got better the second time or
check
did it get worse. Yeah.
It's scary.
Yeah, it's kind of.
Yeah. Because she's an older woman. She was pretty injured when we went there the last time. She had to sit in the living room.
Yeah, and what's crazy, the second time, remember Lauren, you heard the voicemail that she left. She's getting angry.
Oh yeah,
so
she's angry.
Yeah, so I don't know if they're affecting her in the way that we just haven't figured it out. Maybe it's like, I think what it's trying to do, and what I feel like it's trying to do, is since she's so vulnerable, that it's actually accomplishing what it wants to do, which is get her, basically take her, basically, is what I feel like. Mm-hmm. I don't want to say it like that, but that's the way I kind of feel and get the vibe from it.
Yep. And now that she can't really do much, it's hopefully it's not, but if it is, it's going to mess with her more.
Yeah,
she
she's
can't do
stuck.
nothing.
Yeah, she can't do anything.
That's why I was getting aggressive with it last time, because it was pissing me off. Because it was it was hurting an older woman. That's just, it shouldn't be hurting anybody, but an older woman, she really can't do nothing about it.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. It's terrible, but we probably need to check up on her because we haven't heard anything. It's kind of scary.
Yeah.
I hope she's okay. I hope it's all good though. I hope they're gone.
I hope we accomplished what we set out to do, but
right.
I don't know.
No, we can go back. This time we can get cleansing stuff.
Hopefully.
Who knows? Chuck may have fought off the entity for us. Who knows?
Yeah. I hope they're gone.
That night, so.
I hope they're gone because they weren't very pretty ones. I could just feel it there, especially in those bedrooms.
Yeah.
That bathroom.
Did y'all share? Did y'all tell them what has happened to her in that house?
Yeah, that's what me and Jess were talking about.
Yeah, that's what I was explaining to Chuck.
Yeah, you know it's bad
when
an entity pushes you down in your own home and pushes you down hard enough to break your tailbone on top of that.
Yep.
Yeah, and it's hurt her in the past before that. I mean, not to that extreme, but it's she said she's been scratched and all that good other stuff. So it just shows how yeah,
it knocked her down like 3 times within.
It just shows how aggressive they can be. Like, I don't know, it's terrible.
I'm having a hard time finding it, actually. I don't know why. Sometimes that happens. But it's an important picture that I want to share. But anyway, I will share this one with everybody if it opens up. This one's quite remarkable. This was actually taken from a friend of mine that was doing a past life regression. This is this is a little bit lighter and whatnot, but I feel that this was potentially Archangel Gabriel, Archangel Michael coming down. And she says that she told me, Ashley Core from Ireland said that this spirit came down, kissed me on the cheek, and went back up, and she thought it was angels.
Yeah, it's definitely that's definitely a pretty interesting picture for sure.
So
that's awesome.
For whatever reason, guys, I cannot find the picture of the child at the end for whatever reason, but just know it's there. If you go to Death: The Final Frontier Paranormal, you can check that out.
So I'm gonna throw Sherika under the bus. She's been quiet this episode.
Dwayne's good about that.
You got any questions for Chuck?
None that I can think of. He blew my mind the other night in chat, but
Chuck always does.
I wouldn't really say questions.
Chuck, I think Sherika needs a reading.
I don't know whether I'm zoned in enough. Right now, actually, I'm gonna go shut my portal.
He's almost shut. He may be reading from the portal.
All right. Now tell what can be coming from that thing.
They were trying to channel him. His portal was actually trying to channel him the other day when we were talking.
Okay, I'm gonna get up closer. He's going to
Oh, yeah. I'm not sure whether or not I can chime in tonight, to be perfectly honest with you, because I'm so tired.
Oh, you're all right. It's no biggie. I just like giving her a hard time.
You know what? Tell her to ask a question real quick, and I'll use the cards as my divination tool.
She can hear you.
Yeah. Ask a question. What do you want to know?
I threw you under the bus.
Oh my jeez. I don't. What kind of question am I supposed to ask?
Whatever you want to know.
Whatever you want to know, Rhett.
Oh,
you can ask about your love life, any of that. The cards give it away.
We're not going to there.
Whatever you want to do.
Sherika wants a rich hubby. She wants plastic surgery.
Yeah, will I ever get my plastic surgery?
You can ask.
Girl, I'm with you. Don't worry.
You can ask about finances.
She got the 2 of dragonflies upside down. It says a partnership is out of balance and emotions are running high. This influence will pass. So it is best to hold back on making major decisions about relationships until you reach calmer waters and know who and what you are dealing with. So what that tells me is you have to be damn careful when you're looking for a potential partner, because you have pretty high expectations, and some of those higher expectations may or may not be reasonable, within that realm of things.
Makes sense.
Anything else? Finances. Travel.
Yeah, I guess let's do the finances. That
What
one's
do you want to
curious
know about finances?
Like, is it going to get better?
Okay.
If it is, you gotta share it. My birthday's in October.
Oh, look at there.
Oh,
Popper.
It jumped out.
So you get a past, present, and future with finances. Okay. So the past with finances is the 10 of dragonflies right side up. I know it shows upside down to you, but it's right side up to me. This brings continuing peace, abundance, and happiness. This is a wonderful card for family and groups, indicating contentment and relationships in between generations. This card can also predict love and family in a company of children, younger people, family gatherings. Relationships are very rewarding. So this tells me that you had a great experience. But when we look at through from a financial situation, this tells me at one point you were really in pretty good shape and you had a good foundation. Okay. The Ace of Bees upside down, which is your current scope of things that's happening currently, tells me this. This card represents thwarted success and lost opportunity as a project fails or falters. However, it's not too late to try again. So rewind and make a plan. Channel your energy into your restart rather than in your frustration. So something tells me that finances has been a huge frustration, but you need to start. You need to relax. You need to quit dwelling on certain components, and you need to move forward and try to look to the past as a guide to let you move forward. Now, as far as your future in finances right now, you have the 7 of Beetles upside down, and what this is going to tell us is this. Okay, the 7 shows unhappiness. You may be feeling shut down and deflated, but if you want success, you will need to keep taking action rather than accept the status quo. Let's see. Also take extreme care with money and other resources. So this tells me that right now, you're dwelling on the negative. Okay, what you need to do is you need to focus, create a plan, and within that plan, you need to be real careful with your resources and fundamentals. And this tells me that you will have success, but you have to take action. Okay, if you do not take action, you're going to be back here. You're going to be feeling sorry for yourself, and you're not going to be able to feel like you're getting anywhere. You're feeling stagnant. You will feel a little bit stagnant at the beginning, but what this tells me is with hard work, determination, and going back to the past, you're going to be able to reap the rewards in the future.
That's good.
Where's Matt Bennett?
He's in the chat.
Is he?
Yeah, he was in the chat.
Yeah, whatever. He's on the phone talking to his bigwig guests.
Oh, probably. Usually he's on the phone most of the time.
Yeah. Now Jen says she had to go do a tarot reading, so she's sorry she's missing this. She'll be back. So who knows what's going to go down. Now, as far as
you want to go?
Yeah.
What?
Justin,
you want to
go
for it, Justin? You ain't have one yet. Get it.
Hey, I get them all the time, all right? And mine always turns out in a complicated situation, all right? I'm open for anything. I just let it be what it is.
What do you want to know?
I don't have no particular questions.
What do you want to know?
I just go for it.
Okay, you know what?
Whatever comes.
All right. You know what? I'll go right to the heart of things here. Okay, Spirit, tell me what the F is going on with Justin.
Surprise, Justin.
Go ahead.
Okay, what's going to flip over is this card, the 9. Okay, 9 is symbolic with me, which is good. So, but the 9 of Moths upside down. Now, okay, let's check this baby out. Now, okay, in the reverse of the 9 of Moths, there is no challenge, only pressure. You will need to get through a harsh workload to keep other people happy. However, you may also resist change as a result of your stubbornness set new reasonable boundaries. So Spirit tells me is you're a damn stubborn, you're set in your ways, and that you have a hard time seeing past that dogmatic approach. You need to get off your ass, quit being so damn stubborn, and see things for what they really are.
I'll tell you this, Chuck, from a personal standpoint, me and him have been best friends for 16 years. That was spot on. Right there.
You didn't hear me disagree.
Yeah. Now Matt's there. He's saying, hello, I'm here. And he's sending me messages. Can you see me in chat? Yes, Matt, I see your messages. I was channeling, damn it. Come on, folks. Yeah, Darknite Radio folks out there. If you want a reading, you can read. Now, I understand that I'm not as popular and as pretty as some of the other guests, but I do tell you things. And do you notice, Justin? I always tell you things straightforward. It's no bullshit. I don't. Yeah, no. I never cut to the chase.
Absolutely, no bullshit. That's the best way. No. And that's why I said I didn't have no particular question, because I shoot for whatever comes, it comes.
Yeah.
Whatever pops out for me, I let my future take itself.
Okay. And I'm not seeing anything in either, or I don't have YouTube chat up. Is there any question there?
No, not yet. We had just a couple people in there earlier.
Yeah.
Somebody from Willow Paranormal and then EVP Paranormal Science. But nobody else yet.
Hello, Willow. I know y'all follow us on Twitter as well. So if anybody out there has any questions for Chuck, feel free to chime in and ask. We definitely want to hear them. I'm sure Chuck is open to them too. Like he just said, basically just said he was. So you got anything you want to know or interested?
Go ahead. I was going to say all the readings that I've had. I know I've had two. And they always turn out some kind of relationship-wise. I don't know why that is.
Here we go.
But that happens to me for some reason. That's twice that's happened.
One of them was courtesy of Miss Gen B.
Yes. And then the other one, yes. So I don't know what it is there, but
quit being so damn stubborn.
I try. It's my personality, I think.
Okay, Matt, what got me into the paranormal, you smart ass, is this. I did not watch, it was not from Ghostbusters with me. It was because my dad, no. But it even goes deeper than that, okay? I watched a movie called Witchboard way back in the 1980s, maybe late 70s. And I saw this Ouija board. So I was like, ooh, summoning demons. This sounds like a good idea. Okay. And anyway, I played that thing. So yeah, mine was from a movie too, smart ass.
What have you ever messed much with the Ouija board, Chuck?
you crazy critter. Anyway, I will tell you this, okay? Way back when, I think I only touched the sucker and played it like maybe 4 or 5 times in my entire life. But the first time that I played it, we were in my parents' we were actually in my dad's den, or later his den. It was my bedroom at the time, and Todd McLean and I were playing this thing, and I'm like, "Oh, dude, you're moving it." And he's like, "No, dude, you're moving it. Whatever, we're moving it." We said, "Oh, what's here?" And it says Asmodeus. Okay. Anyway, for those that don't know who Asmodeus is he's one of the princes of hell. You know, one of the chief architects in the legions of hell. Anyway, he's he definitely pushes a very perverted agenda when it comes to your mentality, your psyche, that sort of stuff. But I will tell you that it wasn't but a couple weeks later, after playing some Dungeons and Dragons after that particular incident, and I was always horny, so that didn't make any difference. But back then, it's and I don't say that as funny. I say that as being an adolescent. That's something you're growing up. But anyway,
most young males.
Yeah, for whatever reason, I became seriously oppressed a couple weeks later with this ram's head. So anyway, looking back on that particular situation, it really holds true that you have to be careful. And I had no business playing that damn thing. You know, I had no business playing that thing because I had no idea how to use it, how to channel it properly. Now, I do own one. I've never played it, but I do own one.
Yeah, hold on just a second. Hold that thought. Now I don't have the planchette any longer, but I have one as well.
we
I
both
have the planchette, but I have the board.
This is funny.
It has been played.
Yeah, me and Justin. Lauren wasn't brave enough to touch it, but me and Justin
I have the same board.
Hey, I was in the room with it. That's as close as I need to be to it.
All right. It got
I
it got
technically did not want to be in the house when they were doing it, but I was at least in the room. So
it got really old in the room as I brought that out. So anyway, I'm not gonna play it.
No, we've only messed with it twice, I think,
No,
or
just
once.
once.
Yeah,
One time.
one night. To be honest, we didn't get a lot of responses from the board itself, but there was a lot going on in the room. We
Yeah,
actually caught what looked like a pair of angel wings over on the wall and the light. It was pretty crazy. And my youngest sister, Sasha. Actually, I think she got touched and she felt real cold beside her. Honestly, I think that was my young female spirit guide.
I will tell you this. I have a great friend, Karen Dahlman, and you're going to have her as a guest. And she did open my eyes to the Ouija board as a use for a divination tool. But I will tell you, I'm too chicken shit to use it because I'm almost certain that after we burnt the board, we had this amazing green glow that came out of it that Rob Vandermark, talks about. But it's one of those things where I'd be afraid that not necessarily afraid, but nervous and a little bit reluctant because the same spirit could come through again.
Yeah, and that's definitely a possibility. I'll tell you somebody who I follow a little bit. Lauren got me into him. Is live sci-fi.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't know much about live sci-fi out there, everybody, almost every live feed they do on YouTube, almost every investigation, they use the Ouija board, and I've seen some crazy shit on some of their episodes come out from using them.
I'll throw this out there. Darren Evans is a friend of mine from Oklahoma, and he's played he plays the Ouija board quite a bit, and he is the original person that actually pinned the name Zozo, and I've had him on past shows and that sort of stuff. When that guy uses it, holy crap!
Wow, yeah, so. And I think what is the live sci-fi's main guy? What is his name?
His name's Tim.
Oh, Tim.
Yeah.
He does the Ouija board about 75% time by himself.
Yeah, and
he does it home in his car.
Did you see that?
In the middle of the woods.
Did you see that?
Yeah.
I saw something. Yeah. I saw something walk through the doorway. Now, whether it did or not, I'll have to go back and look. But that was spirit telling me, do not use it by yourself.
Yeah, he does it a lot, but he has a lot of stuff attached to him that's not good.
Well, yeah, of course.
He's in contact with Zozo a lot.
There's and I don't mean to interrupt, but there's people out there that don't realize that they want this so much that sometimes they can seal the deal as far as signing on the dotted line without even knowing.
Yeah, he does a lot. I'm like, ooh.
Basically selling their soul.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Without even realizing it. And it's crazy, but anybody that knows anything about the Ouija board, there's 3 rules that come to my head, and me and Justin actually broke one of them.
Here's my rule. Don't use it.
Right?
There's 3 rules. 1, never play it by yourself. 2, never use it in a graveyard. 3, don't use it in your own home, which me and Dustin kind of broke that one. But I mean, we were stupid in that aspect of it. But then again,
there's another rule too. I think you're not supposed to ask when you're going to die or.
Oh yeah, you
about
never
your
ask.
future.
But
that's like about with Tim. He was doing that. He asked when he was going to die. And then he said to the Ouija board, he goes, Zozo, do you follow, are you with me all the time? He says, yes, everywhere.
yeah.
He's in multiple places. Then he said, tell me something that, it was all on a Ouija board, okay? So he's like, tell me something that nobody knows. And he told him about his friend dying in a car wreck.
Yeah. Well, there's really no difference in doing that or doing this, see? So,
Yeah.
So I've turned it on. Oops, about dropped it. Okay. Isn't this the same thing?
Yeah.
Exactly.
So let's,
I don't know.
you want to see what comes through?
Yeah.
Okay.
Jesus, take the wheel.
Ghosts take the wheel. Lauren said ghosts take the wheel.
Oh, they will.
Woo.
Something came through there.
Spirit, what is your thoughts on our Ouija board conversation? I say don't.
Let me slow it down.
I heard something.
Sound like I said don't.
Don't do it.
Okay, I'll ask it. Jesus Christ is protecting all of us right now, but if you want to say it, something about the Ouija board, feel free.
What's that? It like skipped or
Sounded like a door slam.
yeah, I heard that. You notice how it stopped for a second, like it was skipping? Like that was weird. Is that a woman?
Let me slow it down one more. I don't want to bust your eardrum. Is this a,
What?
Whoa!
is
What was that?
I asked, I said, is this Elizabeth? Hang on. Elizabeth, is this you? Okay, Elizabeth, tell us about the Ouija board. Don't be afraid of us, honey.
Oh,
Oh, something just moved behind me. It got really cold in here. Are you making it cold? You making it cold?
I am.
I heard that. I heard that.
Okay.
Really low.
Are you here because you love me?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Can you tell me that one more time, honey?
Yes.
All right. I'm going to shut down. Thank you for coming through.
Thank you. You're welcome. You're welcome.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm going to shut that down now.
That first time she talked was so clear. It was like another person on the phone.
And I was getting ready to ask, is Elizabeth here? And
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just like
Now, Matt, I was not scanning an AM. I was scanning an FM backwards, and I don't have an antenna. Okay. So, and I live in BF, Iowa, so there's no way that I would get anything. Okay. Pretty cool.
Yeah, that's some pretty solid responses out of it. That's for sure.
So anyway, I'm just an average guy that lives in an average basement in an average area.
With cookies.
Yeah, I have cookies. Yeah.
Cookies.
And anybody, Chuck is saying, anybody that wants to have some cookies and something just walked out of that bedroom when you stood up, there it went again.
Turn the light on, bitches. Okay. Woo! Got cold in here.
And if everybody out there watching, if you've been watching this whole time on YouTube, you see that light back there in that back room. It's not glowing bright. It's not lighting up.
Wait,
And now,
fan on?
yeah.
Shut that off.
Okay. I just saw that thing behind Justin moving, and it creeped me out.
No, there was
That feather on that thing right there, it's not moving now. It stopped.
You know
No,
what?
it's on the other side.
Hey, you know what's weird about that, Justin?
It stopped moving now.
Let me show you something. Let me show you something, old butt.
Yeah, one of those was moving really fast behind Justin. Now it's not doing it.
It got really cold here.
Look, it's moving a little bit now. There it goes.
When you were doing the spirit box session, when you had the SB7 running, I don't know if you noticed me turn around and look behind me, but something was in here with us when you were running the spirit box.
Whoa!
Like,
did you hear that?
I heard
yeah.
Okay, the Ouija board just moved. I'm gonna put it up.
Like, play me.
I think Elizabeth is wanting to communicate through the Ouija board.
Oh, my ass is not going to communicate with anybody through the Ouija board. Archangel Michael, please come to me. Okay, hurry up. Hurry up. Come on.
There you go. Look.
Yep.
Everybody, look at the light.
Thank you. You're leaving. Come back. Oh, maybe that was me. No, it wasn't me. See? That's not me. I don't know.
That's that infamous light thing. Oh, look at it. Look at it now.
It's like
That's
super
freaking
bright.
bright.
Archangel Michael, thank you, sir.
Can you blink for us, Archangel Michael? Or you can move the bell. I don't care.
Right. There it goes. Oh.
Look at that.
Wow, that is bright.
Yeah, you can't see the room for shit.
Wow.
There you go.
He just blinked.
Ask and you shall receive.
That Elizabeth stuff was pretty wild. When I slowed it all the way down and then it said something, I don't know.
Yeah, the very first one, it said it so quick we couldn't make it out, but
yeah,
it was answering. It was answering you directly after that on numerous occasions, and Archangel Michael was having a blast with that light.
Yeah.
It's so bright you can't even see the back room. All you see is one little yellow spot in the background in between the light.
Whatever's back there, yeah.
Yeah, and you can make out the bed frame.
You get a freaking tan from that. Yeah.
Wow. We're extremely quiet on Spreaker. I apologize, George Turner, for us being so quiet.
We're just amazed by the light. We're just staring at it, okay?
Yeah,
Like-
the light is
Like a moth on the light. It's like,
Yeah, so
You're quiet, Dwayne.
I I'm quiet because I'm thinking. I'm thinking. I know I'm not normally quiet. I'm usually a big mouth. Everybody knows
Wait,
this
show me your
about the
favorite
Wayne
pup.
home.
Hey.
It's put away in the
Oh, is
toolbox. I'll get it out.
Well,
That's
it just goes to show us that God is good, you know.
Oh yeah,
He is. He's always there.
Is
So-
George in here?
Jen, I love you.
Where did you go, 10B?
Come back to me, Jen.
Well, I think Jen went to read or do a tarot reading.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, she went to do a tarot
Oh, yeah,
reading.
that's
Yeah,
right.
Matt asked
She
if
told us
George
that.
was in here.
No,
No,
we don't-
George isn't
I
here.
don't think. No, George ain't in here, Matt.
George.
George Turner.
Lauren, I don't think Lauren's heard the story about that one.
Okay. Anyway.
Oh, she's doing a reading.
Okay. Okay. I have what looks like a normal iron key. Woo. Anyway, this iron key was actually sent to me by George Turner because see that cabinet right there. There was a meeting with George and I where we were we were communicating after a show, and what was interesting is that cabinet door open and shut. Anyway, George thought that he could give me this key and that I could put it, around the portal or whatever, to keep that for anything bad from happening. Anyway, I didn't open it up right away. It was about 6 or 7 days. And again, I'm not exactly sure how many days, but the day that I opened this up and I read his thing and we talked about it, the key itself, and I put it up. George was in a horrific car accident.
Oh, they're blinking though.
Yeah, it was. He was in a horrific car accident that nearly took his life. So
Wow.
anyway, so that key represents that. Now, I did send a lot of power and prayer and all that sort of stuff with George, but I believe thoroughly that a couple of my other friends that helped out were not quite as lucky. And I had a paranormal investigator from up by Oskaloosa, and shortly after she was giving help, she found out she had a horrific stage 4 cancer that took her life within a year.
Wow.
Shortly after her passing, a great friend of mine, Freddie Rivera, psychic medium from New York, passed away unexpectedly in March of 2014. And George had his wreck, around that time, but he survived. So,
Well,
Yeah, that's a pretty deep situation. All in all. So
I'm gonna turn on this
So,
light so
Lauren-
we get a little bit more.
So Lauren, do you want a little bit of tarot reading done?
sure.
Okay. What's your question, Lauren?
Let's see. How's my future look? Am I
Uh,
gonna have a baby?
ooh. Now, careful asking those questions because it's blatantly.
Okay. Well, how's my future? How's my future look?
Okay. No, you said baby. Oh, guess what? The busy little ace of bees. The busy little bees popped out.
Oh gosh.
Okay. Upside down though.
Justin's face.
Here you go. This card represents thwarted success and lost opportunity. Okay. It's not too late to try again, so rewind and make a plan. This tells me that in the past you've had a miscarriage.
Not that I know of. I mean,
did you go heavier or anything at any point in time?
I think so.
Okay. So that would tell me why I see a little child, with golden yellow or golden blonde hair, with some blue eyes here, pretty intently around you as we speak. And something tells me that you've had an EVP, Lauren, where you've hurt a child.
Yes, I heard one.
Okay, that's not any that's not any child that you don't know, and you already know that. And there are times that when you're asleep, where you wake up and you feel like you're you know what I mean, like something's been taken from you. Correct?
Yeah, I've had a dream about a little girl before too.
Okay, well this this tells me that that the second time's the charm. The second time the child will live. Okay.
Okay.
Something just ran past the window outside.
Great. You want to know what it is, buddy? You want to know what it is? Okay.
What?
Okay. We'll pull through this card. Okay. All right. What is this? Is this thing of the light or of the darkness? Can you tell me? Can you pop out? Okay. Okay. Pop out. Come on, darling. Okay. I'll use those two. You got the bees too, so something tells me that. Okay. Never mind. I won't tell you that yet. Okay. Okay. So you have the Knight of Bees and right side up, and the Queen of Bees the other way. So let's try to figure something out. We'll start with the Knight of Bees. Tension is brewing and battles are coming. Conflict, challenges, and opponents gather, and you need to quickly confront these blocks to your progression. Thankfully, the sting is swift. As a symbol of a person, the Knight is quick-witted, charming, and ruthless. He is a brilliant ally, but is a formidable opponent. There may be a price to pay to have you on his side, so that tells me you got to be real freaking careful. Don't bring that son of a bitch in your house. Okay. Relevance. The Queen upside down. There may be manipulation and mistrust. The reversed Queen can be obsessive. She makes a virtue out of her failings. Try to avoid her bitter, jealous sting. So something tells me you got to be real careful. Don't bring it in the house. Whatever's out there is going to sting your ass.
Oh, wow.
I mean, I can bring her in if you like.
No, that's all good. I'm sure Lauren don't want her in here either.
Okay, Matt wants me to draw a few cards in regards to the school, but what about the school, man? Okay, do you just want to? Do you want? Okay, that was easy. The 8 of Beetles upside down for Matthew in the school. That popped right out. Okay, let's see what we got here. The 8 can represent work without much enjoyment. Until you find an alternative, you may feel both trapped and frustrated. Try not to give all your time and energy to an employer, project, or relationship that you find unrewarding. But you find this rewarding. However, you got to be damn careful that you don't make this rewarding opportunity feel like a job. Because if it feels like a job, you need to run.
Okay, so I got one.
Oh, he wants to know if they're going to close soon.
All right.
So I better ask that first, and then I'll get to you. Okay.
All right.
Are they going to close soon? Okay, you gonna pop out or what the hell? I don't know. I don't know either. Okay. Several cards popped out, but I'm only gonna go to the bottom of each card. Okay. So we got 2 cards. We got the Judgment card. I have that upside down. So that's the first arcane card that we've drawn tonight. Now, Judgment upside down. The Judgment card represents slowed progress and delayed plans. You may be unable to let go of the past. Don't dwell on unresolved problems. Move forward. So this tells me this is going much, much, much slower than you anticipated, and it's driving you freaking crazy. Now, to avoid that, you need to look at the Queen of Bees right side up. Let's see what she says. Okay. All right. She brings generosity and success to your affairs. So that tells me you gotta quit dwelling and bitching and moaning, because eventually she's going to bring success. She symbolizes order and good management. As a woman in your life, she appreciates material comfort and good business sense. And she is also kind, helpful, and down to earth. Qualities that endear her are many. She knows how to look after her interests. So quit dwelling. You're gonna have these delays, but eventually you'll have success. All right, Dwayne.
Will I get a career change that I'll enjoy?
What, you don't like your job?
Quite frankly, not really.
Okay. Well, people are buttholes, right? Where you work,
Yeah.
Whether it be customers, whether it be the workers, you feel like you can't breathe there.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay. Well, something tells me there's an industrial job that you applied for recently, or you're going to apply for, or
maybe,
or you're going to be driving potentially. Okay.
That sounds very interesting.
Yeah, very interesting. Just be careful using your own car doing that shit. Make sure that they supply you with a car, the business. I don't know why nothing's. Come on, baby. Okay. Knight of Bees right side up. So this is on potential job change, all that sort of stuff. Anyway, right side up. Tension is brewing and battles are coming. Conflict, challenges, and opponents gather, and you need to quickly confront these blocks to your progress. Thankfully, the sting is swift. As a symbol of the person, the knight is quick-witted, charming, and ruthless. He is a brilliant ally, but a formidable opponent. There may be a price to pay to have him on your side. So this tells me that you have a friend that's going to get you a job, but make sure that friend doesn't take advantage of you or feel like that you owe that friend anything when you take that employment.
Got you. I know. You got anything you want to know about Justin?
No, I'm good. Like I said, I don't have any questions.
Jerica, Lauren.
Hold on, my computer's lagging. There we go.
So
I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
Are we going to succeed as a group?
Okay, that's
oh gosh,
that's a good question.
Well, nobody else was asking, so I'm just gonna ask.
Okay, tap. Okay. Oh, looky there. You got the flying machine right side up. Second arcane card tonight. Okay. The flying machine shows willpower, speed, goal setting, and determination. Progress and victory are certain. In the past, you may have experienced pressure and struggled to steer your course. Perhaps you had to manage difficult people and projects. This card shows you that you will succeed through sheer force of personality and dedication. The flying machine can also represent an important journey, and on a lighter note, a new vehicle. No matter how it manifests, this card tells you that you are moving on.
That's awesome.
We are going to move on too. Hate is going to hate.
Well, you're getting a new vessel,
Mm-hmm.
like a new car here, new vessel, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Awesome.
And don't go back to Oklahoma. That's what matters.
I was thinking about going to Houston, Chuck.
Okay, here. You ready? Here's your card.
Oh gosh.
Okay. It is the 6 of mods right side up. Okay, let's talk Houston.
Oh, God.
Okay.
He had to say it.
Okay, the 6 is a victory card, and when you triumph over past obstacles, like Oklahoma, it often predicts exam or legal success, completed projects, job interviews, promotions, and new contracts. This is a public victory, and others appreciate and applaud your achievements. You deserve every accolade. Your instincts were right. So your instincts were very right that you will not go to Houston. That was pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
There was another one. There's the one that I asked you before.
Well,
I think you were on the air.
Guess what just flew up? The magician right side up. Okay, it just flew out. And before
You knew what Dwayne was going to ask.
before you go any further, Dwayne, I gotta read you what the magician stands for. Ready? Okay. The magician shows creativity, action, and positive change. You will make practical decisions while your lateral thinking will help you solve problems so that you can make progress in your life. What you desire can manifest. This is a time of important journeys, and along with the flying machine and the 3 and the 8 of Maz in the minor arcana, the magician with his hot air balloon predicts travel and broadening horizons. All offers are worth exploring. Now, what the heck was you going to ask? I can't hear you.
Yeah, I can't hear him either.
None of us can hear you.
Okay, I can hear him with his lips because he's in the other room.
Okay, tell him that we cannot hear him.
He said, hold on.
Okay.
Is that what Justin was laughing at?
I can't hear him at all.
I can hear him a little bit because they're in the other room.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Hey, get this. The entities didn't want me to talk. Cut it off. A message come up across the screen. That's what Justin was laughing at. It says your mic isn't working. Please try a different one. So I unhooked the mic and hooked it back in, and it started working.
It'll cut it off. It'll cut it off.
But what I was gonna ask is if we'll achieve our dreams in the paranormal field.
Okay.
And I've asked you this one before, Chuck, on your show when you was doing free tarot readings. I asked you, would I find what I'm looking for in the paranormal aspect of it?
Okay.
And
what did you think about the reading?
That it was crazy because it was just like spot on. It's just, oh, here it is. Before I could even get the words out there, it just flops right out on the table. That's pretty interesting. Yeah. Pretty good, solid answer around what I was hoping for. So that's a good thing.
Okay. Now you still got me online. Anything else?
Oh.
Are we ever going to go international?
Ooh.
Yeah, I'm smart to that.
International.
Like,
well,
yeah, we travel international.
Oh.
Hell no, I don't mind.
Will Justin ever get on a plane?
Okay, now tell me when to stop. Tell me when to stop.
Stop. Some Beatles, bro.
Yeah, you got some Beatles tonight. This is the page of Beatles, right side up. Okay. The page The page. Where the hell's the page? Okay. This page brings good news about finances and money matters take a turn for the better. So that tells me that you're gonna start you start getting better. Maybe particularly maybe Dwayne gets a better job. While you don't receive everything you desire, there will be enough for you to further your plan. So this tells me that you may you're looking at things quite bluntly speaking. Like, oh, I'm going to go all over the world, blah, blah, blah. But this tells me that, you have to be a little bit more pragmatic in that approach. Look after the small money carefully and see it as it grows. As a person, the page is methodical and hardworking and very helpful to you. So this tells me Canada, Spain comes through quite a bit.
Ooh.
That's interesting.
That was pretty fun.
Well, you are having a Spanish speaking feller on next Friday.
What was that? What was that?
I don't know.
What?
Did you just
Something weird,
talk, Lauren, while he was talking?
Huh?
I don't think so.
What happened?
No.
We just had
there was just another voice that just came through.
I couldn't make out what it said.
Was that it?
No, it was a voice. Somebody was
a
talking.
woman.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was sniffling. I sniffled.
Elizabeth, stop it.
See, that was me sniffling.
Oh, yeah. No, somebody was talking.
It was something different.
It may have been Elizabeth.
Yeah, could have been. I did get audibly in here. I died. I'll play that another time for everybody.
That was
crazy.
You've nearly had me on for 2 hours.
Yeah.
Yep.
Time flies when you're having fun.
Yeah,
Okay, can I ask one more quick question?
Yeah, she's got one.
What is my gift?
Well, you already know it's clairvoyance, but we'll pull the cards. You know what I mean to pull that in. I mean that was freaking obvious. As far as being able to see things a little bit ahead of time. Okay. The world, honey. Okay. So. And that's another arcane card. Okay. The world shows that parts of yourself and your life have come together in harmony. It heralds the successful completion of a particular phase in your life, along with the rewards and celebrations, perhaps for an anniversary or a graduation representing agreement. The world predicts an end of a conflict and tension. You may have opportunities to travel, and you may experience great achievement in your career, happiness in your relationship, and further spiritual development. Like the unified cosmos, you can experience spiritual oneness with the world. So this tells me that not only are you clairvoyant, but you are clairsentience, which means that you see things. You see things.
Well,
one more question.
All
One
right.
more question, because mine was kind of, I was kind of like, mine was like, I'm a stubborn asshole, so I a good idea though, you know what I mean? But no, I want to know, because everybody has like their own little gift thing, you know
I
what
don't
I
have
mean?
a gift.
I'm not that I have a gift, but I want to know, what do I possess that type of ability? I guess some type of gift, and what type of spiritual connection do I have with the paranormal field? I know I have one.
Yeah.
Because I wouldn't be doing it if I didn't.
Yeah.
But what type of level is it on?
You're really stubborn, but you can sense things. You can go into a room, particular rooms, and you can feel it. You can feel the spirits around you, the static energy, the static flow, the feeling. Your empathic abilities are pretty high, which tells me that's why. Sometimes you can say, hey, you know what? We're going to do an EVP in this certain room, and something's going to come through. I just know it because I can feel it in my gut. But the card tells me Okay, so you have the ace of bees right side up. So let's see what the cards say about this. Okay, bees, 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 and more bees. Okay, the ace brings a gift of victory. So this tells me that this gives us relevance because you're able to know when things are out of whack, things are a little crazy, and sometimes you can follow that instinct and get clarity from it. Let's see. It's also a symbol of purity, commitment, and energy. As bees are the element of air, the suit of the mind, the success is due to focus and clarity of thought. Your win is well-deserved and even hard-won, and may have involved intense work. However, the ace honors you. In victory, you shine. So this tells me that in victory, you shine. So there are times that you feel a strong connection to either do an EVP or you feel a strong connection to take a picture, and you're able to get clear evidence.
That's pretty much spot on. That's what I was looking for, because that happens to me a lot on an investigation. My gut, it's like, we got to go here. I'm drawn to shit, or I get real antsy feeling, like yeah. I move a lot or fidget.
Now
it's like something's clicking.
Now Matt and Kim say that there's a lot of static coming through. I don't hear any static, but that's not to say that there's not.
No, it's clear on our end. Every now and then there'll be a little bit come through. I pretty much already know the answer to what I'm about to ask you, Chuck. But what is my connection with the spiritual world?
Dude, I don't even have to pull a card for that. Okay, it's you know, you're connected, but your biggest issue is that you're on too much. You know, your little light switch is so bright that you know, for the most part, your biggest connection to the spiritual world is the darkness, is the lure of the darkness being brought in. Whereas you have to learn to extinguish that light occasionally in order to gain and garner clarity of thought. Okay, but you are definitely drawn to the darker, pragmatic approach that is the spiritual side. But you already know that that you know your ears ring. You know, but when your ears ring, man, you have to give thanks to the angels, because it's the angels that are ringing your ear. It's not mere you know, principalities when we look at as far as what's fostering in your brain or whatever. But you also have that clear connection. You know, where spirit comes through you. You're a channeler, but you already knew that. But we'll pull this card out, okay, and we'll go that way. All right, and you have the 10 of dragonflies upside down, which could give us clarity. Maybe it will, maybe it won't. But let's see what it says here. This is generally a card of good fortune, although communication problems may surface. Communication problems being, you know, this is weird. Sometimes, you know, I don't want to follow suit. You know, I'm not listening to my guides enough, or I'm not listening to God. Okay, think carefully about what you say and write to avoid misunderstandings. A love, hope may be misplaced. So this tells me that you, my friend, have shut yourself down too much and left yourself too far open in order to understand and truly foster your gift.
I got you. Makes a lot of sense.
You doubt yourself.
Makes a lot of.
Well, you doubt yourself.
Often. Like I said, I'm never one to admit to my abilities that I truly have. I just brush them off, but I mean, but they've all seen it when we went on investigations. I'll be like, "Did you hear that?" And they wouldn't hear a damn thing. But I hear it with my own ears, plain as day. It's like they just walked right up to me and said it directly in my ear. And Dustin and Lauren and Sherrick, anybody that's ever been on investigation can tell you. Anytime I'm like, "Do you hear that?" Even if they didn't hear it, when they go back and play the recorder, they heard the same shit I heard, but that was with my own ears. I didn't need the recorder.
Well, but often you hear like, what do you? Ooh, ooh, ooh.
Yeah. A lot of times I can't really make it out with my ears, but like you said, there's the ringing and the things of that nature. And like I said, I need to find. I think basically what I need to do is find a balance. I think one side's weighing me down, and I need to find the balance.
You gotta find what works for you instead of what everybody's telling you. You have to find out truly, excuse me, what works for you. Now, this was from my day 15, and this is really good, and it's really spot on for the day. Understand this, okay? Be therefore merciful as your Father is merciful, okay? And this is important. We exercise the same mentality as Christ. We seek not to judge our world, but save it. Too many times, you yourself, you're going to judge things in a human rationality, whereas you also push to save it. Of course, along the way, the enemy will seek to stop us. He will use offenses, slander, and persecution. However, as Christ followers, when wounded, we forgive. When forced to go 1 mile, we go 2. We bless those who curse us and turn the other cheek to those who strike us. And I think truly, Dwayne, when you finally turn the other cheek when somebody strikes you, you're going to open up, and sooner or later, it's going to be a light bulb. It's going to click on. You're going to understand.
And what you just read is spot on with what I go through on a daily and what my mentality is. So it's pretty interesting that you say that a lot of times. And I've always been the one to kind of try to make the peace until they just push me and push me and push me and push me. But where you're coming from, it makes a lot of sense. And the things I deal with, even if I don't say it out loud, that what you said registers a lot with what I go through on a daily basis. So it's good to hear.
And again, this is working for me. It'll work for a lot of people, but it's not going to work for everybody. So it's So.
Okay, so the only one that hasn't asked that aspect, I know she threw it out there earlier that I don't have no gifts, so I'll ask for her. What does Lauren have?
Thank you, Dwayne.
Yeah.
Dwayne.
I have the gift to kick her butt.
Yes, she does.
I'm kidding.
No, she's not.
Yeah, what is my gift?
You're a little bit harder nut to crack. Your gift is the ability to close off and shroud. Your ability is protection. You're kind of the crutch or the Band-Aid, so to say, that kind of helps everybody else out. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Now your card, your world's upside down. So that tells me that there are times, when you're sending out all this love, peace, and all that sort of stuff, that sometimes you feel neglected. You have a need to stay safe rather than move on to greater things. Well, thus the ability, to protect people. Outdated attitudes and values keep you stuck in one place. It is time to put an end to procrastination and look further ahead or afield for inspiration. Lauren, you're a healer. You're able to protect, and you're able to basically strike a balance.
Okay. That seems legit.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting. There's been a couple times during this episode, I don't know if you noticed or not, Chuck, where I've kind of zoned out.
Mm-hmm.
And it's almost like something comes in here and is trying to communicate with me, and I don't know what it is. Could you possibly tell me what it is?
Well, it's one of those things that I would highly encourage you to shut down in order to see. Does that make sense? In order to feel.
Yeah.
Because you're constantly open. And the only reason I say that is because, you know, is for your health, because it'll either drive you mad or it'll make you sick. And I'm being honest with that. I get you have a lot of dreams about the reptilians.
I have.
Yeah. Which is kind of that extraterrestrial makeup, whatever. So
yeah.
So the language is going to be outdated. You're not going to quite understand it. It's going to sound muffled. But you, my friend, need to shut down for a while and really contemplate and pray for guidance, because anytime that you channel a reptilian, it's not of no consequence. They want something from you, and you want something from them. So you need to quit trying so damn hard at finding all the damn answers, and reflect on what's to come.
Definitely. I can agree with you 110% on that one. It's day in and day out. I'm focused on finding the answers, finding out what we're dealing with on the other side. And
you gotta balance and living today, and truly living today instead of always having one foot in the spiritual community and one foot in this plane of existence. Otherwise,
yeah. I understand where you're coming from. Definitely with that.
Do you see the eye color change?
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
you see it, Justin?
Yeah, I see it.
I'm gazing into your eyes in a non-creepy way.
Yeah.
Well, here.
That's cool. Oh, yeah, I can see it.
I can see it.
That's crazy.
But you already knew that, Dwayne.
I know.
You're speechless.
Yeah, you're in my head.
I'm sorry.
I know, but it's not a bad thing. But I can tell, like, I can be in a room and tell when I don't even know how to explain it. Pick up on people's energy, I guess, and know what they're capable of doing. And that goes for both sides, good and bad. If somebody has bad intentions, I can tell that ahead of time, even though I don't say it.
Yeah.
I can tell that. And I guess that's because I'm a open damn book. Sometimes I don't want to see it, but I still know it.
Yeah, you need to listen to your gut when your gut's telling you, I need to shroud this stuff for a while.
Yeah.
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 You don't hear a dog barking?
No.
And then, okay, that's weird. I thought my dogs were outside barking, and I looked over, and they're all in here.
So Matt says, like me, I'm totally mad. I have no idea what he's talking about.
Yeah, I have no idea.
Yeah, Matt, you're weird.
Matt knows how to get inside my damn head too. He does it often. Even though he don't realize it, he knows how to. Well, I'm sure he does realize it, because he's always calling me with this shit, and then he gets my brain going and gets my channeling abilities go, and then I'm like, I don't want to know that. No. Sometimes I am, though. Sometimes I'm like, man, I'm just seeing the stuff unfold in my mind of what's to come in the future and whatnot. And I'm all like, I can't tell you this. That's bad juju. I can't tell a lot. There's a lot of things that I know about that are going to happen and shit that I see. But I know that I can't say it. Because if I say it, then guess what? Here comes the bad karma on me for telling shit that I'm not supposed to tell nobody.
What I've always noticed is that when I hold stuff back, my life is a whole lot crappier.
Ah, got you.
Okay, and whether it be financial issues, whatever. When I hold stuff back, that's the way it is. Now, a shameless plug. If you would like to garner a reading from me, I am much cheaper than many of the other mediums out there.
Oh yeah, definitely. And I know you've been up for a while, buddy. We'll go ahead and wrap this episode up. I've got
Justin speechless.
Yeah, I know. I was zoning out.
Justin, I think Justin's doing a little channeling himself over here right now.
Yeah, no, I was
I think he's focused on that outside creature that I was talking about earlier, whatever the hell that thing is that needs to go the hell away.
Yeah, it's right at the window.
But it's trying to hone Justin in.
It's right there. Like I feel like we're being watched.
It's
at the window.
Did you by chance show Justin that picture of that spirit beside my head?
Did I show that one to you?
I don't think so.
I showed Lauren. I know I showed Lauren, but I don't know if I showed Justin. I don't think I did.
I don't think so.
It's really pretty cool. Yeah, you're gonna have to take a look at it.
Yeah, I'll
show me that.
Yeah, well, we'll go ahead and wrap it up. I'm probably going to close this window so I don't have to see this thing that's outside.
Yeah, please close it.
But I'll let Justin go ahead and do the normal shout outs to everybody that joined us in chat.
Yeah. I'll go ahead and do that. I'll go ahead and start with the YouTube chat. We did have let me just go back on here and make sure I don't miss anybody. I always like to make sure I do. Looks like we had, what was it? Willow Paranormal, and then another EVP Paranormal Science. I just want to go ahead and thank them for joining. And then I'll just start with our big O chat here. Of course, Matt was in there. Kim, Jen B. I think Shay stopped in there for just a little bit. Make sure I don't miss anybody at all.
Sorry, guys. That's me.
Whoa.
That was me.
That was the way.
That sounded bad for a minute.
Hey, you need to close out all those Googles.
Yeah, no, I got everybody in chat. I hit them all. It wasn't that many, just.
All right, so I'm gonna steal a page out of Shay and Matthew's book. Any final thoughts for the evening?
If you want to be amazed, tomorrow night, I don't think Benji's going to be available because he's been fighting influenza B with the entire family. But I'm going to have Bill Bean on tomorrow night. And if you don't know who Bill Bean is, check it out because it's going to be an amazing show. And I do believe that I'm also going to have another special caller. We'll see what happens. But yeah, tune in tomorrow night at the end of the day with myself. I don't think that Benji's going to be available because of his sickness, but I'm going to have Bill Bean on tomorrow night. Last word for this. It's funny because that was mine, Matt, you son of a you-know-what. Anyway, it's we do the final word of the day too. But you know what? Research, develop, and become a better person.
I can agree with that 110%. I know, Lauren, go ahead with your ritual.
Oh, I feel like I'm sacrificing something. Let me get the goat out. Okay. Guys, make sure you, of course, like the Beyond the Light Network, follow us. Make sure everybody check out Chuck's books.
Get a reading.
Yeah, get the reading, guys. Come on now. Get the reading. Also, like our page, Darknite Paranormal Society, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. And also, you can like and follow our Twitter. So, and next weekend, we're going to be going, like Dwayne said, to the USS Razorback, and we will be going live. So, if you guys don't forget.
Yeah, so a lot of great things coming up for all of us here on the Beyond the Light Network. A lot of great guests to come over the next few months, as well as a lot of great investigations from Darknite Paranormal Society. So, folks, stay tuned. Again, thank you, Mr. Chuck, for staying up so late and talking with us. And to the paranormal world, this is Dark Knight Radio saying good night.
Everyone have a good night.
Bye.